in sports gaming. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do hit the subscribe button, do hit the notification button. We are live not only on YouTube, but also on our Facebook page, BWTM Online. So for those of you who are watching this across our Facebook page, good evening to you too. Almost closing in on 1,000 likes on our Facebook page. Again, BWTM Online. This is part of our sports section of BWTM Online. Good news for BWTM Online supporters. Our website, the 2020 version, will be up and running shortly. Our team have been working very, very hard behind the scenes to get this website up to the 2020 version. And there have been some issues there in terms of videos uploading to the channel and going to the actual website. But yeah, we'll get that new and improved, and lots of great things coming with that. Okay. So the news story regarding Dillian Whyte. I want to make a few statements first and foremost. First of all, I did a video the last time regarding the WBC, the possibility of the WBC upgrading Tyson Fury to becoming franchise champion, and Dillian Whyte getting the WBC championship. It says, yo, watching from New Zealand. Thank you so much, and good evening to you. Or good afternoon, good morning. Let me just click you up there, put you in there, section, bam, there you are, you're a star. Zakia Bai, yo, watching from New Zealand. Yes, well, I'm a big fan of Joseph Parker. I wish he changed his trainer. I'm a massive fan of Joseph Parker. I've had him on the show live beforehand via telephone, and big fan of Joseph Parker. I think he has the ability to become heavyweight champion of the world again. I just think he needs a better trainer. So that's my thoughts from. I haven't looked at Julian Farbo, by the way. I need to look at him a bit more, to be fair. So I need to check him out. So yes. So I just want to talk a little bit about a few things I mentioned the other day. That in my opinion, and I'll stress again, my opinion. It's not fact, but I view, in my mind, Tyson Fury as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Why? Because he's won all the belts that matter, and he's never lost it inside the ring. I had one gentleman the other day come up and say to me, I was lying. I'm not sure if I can say I'm lying. I can only say I'm lying if I'm saying it is a fact. But it's my fact. It's my truth. I see him as the undisputed champion. He beat Vladimir Klitschko, and he beat Deontay Wilder. Two reigning heavyweight champions with long reigning champions as well. So he beat them. Now, the whole thing about the PEDs and all the rest of it, I'm not going to go into, but he beat those two men, and I'll leave it as that for that situation. All right. And he did it. He did it. So I see him as undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, he has to fight Joshua, and should he beat Joshua, then who else is there to be? I guess there's Dillian Whyte to fight. Let's talk about the Dillian Whyte situation. Before I go into the Dillian Whyte situation, it's what the WBC have ruled. I also want to talk about people across Twitter, across Facebook, across social media that said Dillian Whyte shouldn't do it. And he can't do it. Even Tyson Fury said, nah, Dillian Whyte doesn't stand a chance with WBC. Well, according to the WBC and his legal team, must have a damn good legal team, because WBC have a ruling in Dillian Whyte's favor. Before I go on to the ruling, there's something else I want to bring into the conversation, into the mix. Fighters like Dillian Whyte, Alexander Usyk, Kubrat Pulev, whilst they are, well, in the UK, Dillian Whyte is a pay-per-view star. I wouldn't say star, he's a pay-per-view fighter. I struggle to believe that Dillian Whyte on the road, let's say Dillian Whyte going to America to challenge Deontay Wilder, would bring a huge crowd with him. I struggle to believe that. As much as I think I'm a big fan of Dillian Whyte, I'm a realist. I struggle to believe that he could take a fan base to America. If he had fought a few times in America first, as I keep saying, I think I don't know, maybe he could do it, but he hasn't got that following now that kind of Fury's done, because Fury's fought in America now. He's got some sort of follow, whether it be through the WWE things he's done, whether it's been because of obviously he's beaten Klitschko and he's beaten Wilder. Those things help obviously help his profile. And I still believe Dillian Whyte is Mr. Mark, not going to America. By the way, leave your comments in the comment section and they will appear just down here. All right. So yeah, I'll show you another example here. It says, great news, the hunter has become the hunted. And he goes here, Fury's bomb boys are running scared of the body snatcher. Well, I want to talk about that, touch on that now, because I do want to touch on it, because Dillian Whyte, Alexander Usyk, Kubrat Pulev, they're three guys, as far as I'm concerned, that don't bring in big bags. The big bag guys, I would say, are Wilder, Joshua, and Fury, the three kings. They're the three main guys in the heavyweight division in terms of bringing the money in. And then Dillian Whyte, Kubrat Pulev, and Usyk. So I can see, in my mindset, why they will talk about Usyk and Whyte, because that's a way of eliminating one of those two guys who don't bring in big money. They're not big money guys. They're on the outside looking in, as far as I'm concerned. And it's that thing called exposure. Despite Usyk being the undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world and doing a good job at it, moving into heavyweight division, you'd have thought there'd be a lot of noise about Usyk. And I don't think there's as much noise as people would like it to be. And I don't think that he is a big money spinner. Joshua versus Usyk is a big money spinner because Joshua is the A side. He's the money man. You know, Fury versus Usyk. Fury, he's the money man. Wilder versus Usyk. Wilder would be the money man. That's the kind of way I'm seeing it. Okay, so those guys, I think, will get the guys that are not the big money guys. I watch them carefully because I think the guys who've got money get treated very differently to guys that don't have money, i.e. Canelo, when he got done with the PED thing, with the whole beef thing, 6 months. Liam Cameron, I think it was maybe a touch of cocaine in his system, banned for what, 2-3 years? Career's in jeopardy now, he can't box no more. So I just think there's a lot of favoritism in boxing. If you've got a lot of money, it's one rule for you. If you have got little money and you can't legally fight, it's another rule. So now Dillian Whyte's gone and taken on the WBC against the judgment of many of the experts on Twitter. And here's what the WBC have to say. The WBC have confirmed Tyson Fury will have to face his mandatory challenger, Dillian Whyte, before he can fight Anthony Joshua in an undisputed dust-up next year. Earlier this month, it was revealed that Fury and Joshua had revealed a financial agreement for a 2-fight deal, the first of which will take place in 2021. Okay, well, I still find that difficult to get through, considering Joshua's got Kubrat Pulev and Usyk, unless Usyk's going to take step-aside money. Then you've got, on the other side, Tyson Fury, who now has a fight against Wilder still to happen, and he's still got now his mandatory face against Dillian Whyte. One way to get Dillian Whyte out of the way would be to get Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Usyk. Then that way, the winner of that goes on and fights Tyson Fury. So if the WBC were going to be slick about it and smart about it, or slick, like I said, this elevating of Tyson Fury to franchise champion and making Usyk versus Dillian Whyte for the final eliminator to face Fury. That would be one way the WBC could feed two birds with one worm. You get me? You get the two guys who don't make as much money in the division and not as well known. Get them two to fight. Dillian Whyte is going to be a very difficult fight against Alexander Usyk. And Usyk doesn't bring in that much money. But they think because there's Usyk's skill set he should get past Dillian Whyte. I think it's a fascinating fight. It's whether Dillian Whyte is able to impose himself. Great news. Here we go here. It is great news. What makes it? Let me know what it makes great. Why it makes great news. Whyte's, can would Whyte be able to impose himself on Usyk? Would Usyk have the physical strength to keep someone like Dillian Whyte off? Does Dillian Whyte have enough boxing skills and know-how now in 2020, 2021, working with someone like Xavier Miller and Mark Tibbs to be able to get inside? Because the way he's going to beat Usyk is getting on the inside of the jab, working that body and getting on inside and being nasty. He doesn't beat Usyk from the outside. He has to push Usyk back against the ropes, force him back into a dogfight, hit him with that left hook to body and to head. Really work Usyk up and down. That's the way to do it. How many eliminations has Whyte has to face? Well, I do believe as many as necessary. Whyte is not, as you can tell already, he's not part of the Who Wants Him club. You can tell that. Hamza, my brother, salute. How are you? Hope you're liking the new format here as well. So you can see what's going on here. So you can put your comments in the comment section. How many eliminations Fury faced to have a shot? If you remember, as a matter of fact, going back in time, if I'm right, Fury had to do a lot of chasing down of Vladimir Klitschko. So he fought Vladimir when he made Vladimir end up being his mandatory. Because I remember that Vladimir wasn't willing to fight Fury just like that. So they fought to become in a mandatory position rather than a voluntary defense. I think there is a difference between a mandatory and a voluntary defense. Can't remember. I think it might have something to do with purse bids. I think it might have, somebody correct me if I'm wrong there, but it might have to do with purse bids. So this is fantastic news for Dillian Whyte. Whether this is going to encourage more people to push forward and challenge WBC is will be crooks. WBC have now a cult club, but will be crooks, will be criminals, will be conned. I don't know. I've heard them all. Will be corrupt. I've heard that. Will be corrupted. Will be corruptible. I've heard so many. I've heard another one as well, but I'm not going to use that one. But it comes on the lines of "will be see you next Tuesday." You can work that one out yourself. Or the S at the end. So, I mean, I'm happy for Dillian Whyte. I really am. But yes, he has to face Tyson Fury. That's what it says in this. He has to face Tyson Fury. Has to face Dillian Whyte. Okay. But I don't think that's the end of it. I really don't. I do believe that somewhere along the line, Alexander Usyk is going to come into this, because if that will let's see how this will work. If Joshua were to beat Pulev and Fury is to beat Wilder, then you can get Joshua versus Fury, right? Because Joshua's mandatory becomes the mandatory, the challenger for Dillian Whyte and Usyk to fight. And then if the WBC wanted to be slick, they could throw out one of them belts out there, the regular WBC belt, or, if that. I'm surprised they haven't made Tyson Fury franchise champion yet. I'd like to know why. But I also understand the WBC are now contacting all of the relevant WBC champions, and we'll be having a discussion with them. Interesting. Hey, you want to become a franchise champion? Here's how it goes. Oh dear me, I don't know. Yeah, so that's where that is with that. How are you all anyway? Oh, by the way, just to let you know, let me see what's in the comment section here. I just hope they won't make Fury franchise champion. But you can see it happening. You can see it happening. Fury franchise champion, Whyte, Usyk, the fight. And let them two beat one another up. And while that's going, while them two beat one another up over this belt, Fury and Joshua can get it on. I mean, they lost. We've got to remember, the WBC lost a portion of money in that unification bout between Wilder and Joshua. $100 million fight. And you're telling me the WBC weren't going to get a bit of one guy out of that? Come on. Come on. So many people lost money because of that. I don't know what relationships are like between Matchroom and the WBC, because obviously Joshua's not their champion, 1 and 2. The constant back and forth between the promoter and you know, the WBC is saying, well, you know, Joshua Fury's pure speculation, and Whyte has to face Fury. The promoter saying, oh, well, you know, we got Fury versus Joshua lined up for next year. But did you already have Usyk already lined up after Pulev in those pictures you took? Or were they just something for the family, you know, album? They'll email the belt to Whyte. Yeah, well, you can see something like that happening, though. You can see something. You can see something like that logically happening. Wilder is going to make this irrelevant. Watch Whyte cry about having to face him. Well, that's only if Dillian Whyte. It's only if Wilder decides not to take his third fight against Fury, and I can't see, to be honest with you, I really cannot see how Dillian Whyte, well, I can't see how Wilder is going to face Dillian Whyte. Well, he didn't want to face him as champion. I can hardly see him now as a challenger facing Dillian Whyte. No, sir. Can't see that happen at all. It says the percentage will be reduced. Okay. Joshua ducking that fight will forever taint his legacy. I've got to agree with you there. Got to agree with you there. But you got to blame Barry Hearn. Barry Hearn said he didn't want to face him until 2021 when he was on his little fishing trip. And you know, up to this day, people still believe that Joshua wanted to face him. Can't believe it. The Watcher says Whyte is a pretender. I think he's had it long. Whether he's a pretender or not, he still deserves his shot. No more pretending than at the moment than Alexander Usyk, because he was offered the fight to fight Ortiz. Nobody mentions anything about that, where he suddenly got injured. Remember the Takam fight? Got injured. But he was good to fight Chaz Witherspoon, and now he's good to fight for Chisora. Interesting. Salute. Whyte will be very happy with Wilder. Easy work. I don't know. Wilder will take it. Win, then Dillian will regret that mandatory spot. I can't see Wilder taking that fight. I can't. Why would he? You got a third fight against Tyson Fury, an opportunity to exact revenge. If, and I use the word if, it is that Wilder was under some influence and was drugged, which is not uncommon in the sport of boxing. From my knowledge in the sport, it's not uncommon for somebody to be, for water to be spiked. It's not uncommon. And if it was spiked, then he won't fall for that trick again if he was spiked. Because I said, from the minute that fight started, if you go back in my commentary from the first round, I said, something's wrong with this guy. He's not moving right. from the minute the bell went and he started, I said, something ain't right. Something's not right about this guy. You know what I mean? And it's not like the first time in his career was backed up like that. So something wasn't right. He's had several opportunities. We'll see what happens. Good stream. Thank you. Yeah, he's had several opportunities, but Usyk's had several opportunities, hasn't he? Usyk had the Takam fight. You forget that. Usyk had the Ortiz fight. You forget that. And then let's be honest, Alexander Usyk hasn't looked great in his last 3 fights. Look at his last 3 fights. Breeders, Bellew, where he was getting totally outboxed until Bellew ran out of steam, and the Chaz Witherspoon fight. So Alexander Usyk hasn't been getting better in fights, and that's the thing. When Holyfield moved from cruiserweight to heavyweight, he actually kept his performances up. I remember he moved up to heavyweight, knocked out Alisson Rodriguez in a round or 2. A big heavyweight, knocked him sparkle. I remember after the first fight I saw Evander Holyfield fight outdoors, I thought, you know what? This is a guy who's going to go on to be heavyweight champion of the world. Wasn't wrong with that one. And it was a good knockout, good overhand right. Never forgot it. If Wilder regains the belt, watch Matchroom push Whyte again to interfere for Joshua. Well, you know what the score is. You know what the score is. I know what the score is. We all know what the score is. It's just those people out there that forget about Bazza sitting down and saying about Shelley Finkel wanting the Wilder Joshua, wanted the Joshua fight now. And remember Bazza saying, "Oh no, this is crazy. This is so think about this just for 1 second. If they did get their way, they would not want to see Deontay Wilder till 2021, which is next year. Salute. Yes, brother. Good to see you too. Listen, I'm rocking the afro, and keeping the afro going. It's hard to maintain, you know. You keep on rocking this afro, but I'm rocking it and I'm keeping it. I'm rocking the afro with a face mask. Good to see you too, brother. Good to see you too. So, you know, one thing I don't like about this era of boxing and boxing supporters, it seems you lose a fight and you become a nobody. You lose a fight and you become a nobody, which is weird because, I mean, you think of all the great fighters we've got down in history: Ali, Fraser, Foreman, Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, Duran, Barkley, Michael Nunn, Mike McCallum, James Toney, Roy Jones. All these guys have lost fights and they've come back and become, you know, come back sometimes better as champions. Lennox Lewis, you know, guys get beat and they come back. But it just seems in this era, I will have to call it the Mayweather era. It seems just in this era that when a guy gets beat, there's almost this, he gets beat and there's humiliation process he has to go through. I don't get it. Guys get beat, they come back. And that's the whole thing. They get beat, you're a champion, fine. You come back and you regain the belt. That's beautiful. That's sweet music. I love that stuff. But you've got a real sick society now in boxing that a guy gets beat and they wipe him out. I mean, so throw the conversation up. Add your questions into the box and I'll throw them up there. Now, another thing I want to mention to you all. If you look on the Let's Play, or for the gaming people, for those people like gaming and like boxing, I previewed about between 6 or 8 different games there, old boxing games, Legends of the Ring, which have guys like Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, Duran, Sugar Ray Robinson. That's a great game. Check that out. Also, there's a couple other games. Nassim Hamid's Boxing. There's a game called Chavez Boxing, which is basically a rip-off of the Legends of Boxing, which you'll see, Legends of the Ring. Check that out, which is actually Legends of the Ring. I think sponsored by Ring. Hi, Denise. Get well soon. Love yourself. Give yourself some rest, my girl. Let's give you a shout out there. Shout out to Hamza and Denise, of course. Good to see your beautiful face on the screen like that, Denise. Eh? It's good, isn't it? So yeah. So check them out, different games. And by the way, if you want to play these games, you just type in, what do you type in? Mega Drive, because a lot of these games are Mega Drive games. Mega Drive emulator online, and you can just play the games there. Just type in, go to the different genre, and you can go to fighting, type in boxing, or just type in boxing, and all the boxing games will come up. Just with PS1 as well, you can do emulating for that as well. So you can emulate and play all the old boxing games. I think there's emulators there, Atari, Nintendo. So all the different boxing games are out there. You can try and you can play. So yeah. Good evening. It's INGRAM, by the way. But thanks. Good try anyway. I think that's the first time I've seen my name absolutely rinsed and destroyed. But yeah. Salute. Yes. Right. So there's that. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, the other thing. I think post-lockdown, this is what I can see happening. I can see a lot of fighters that were overpaid, and not pulling their fingers out their asses. A lot of these guys I can see getting reduced contracts, reduced payments, because they're not very good at promoting themselves. And I think I'll come back to that in a second. I think there's an opportunity there within the YouTube community to grasp a hold of some of these fighters. People like Demetrius Andrade. Great technical fighter. Who cares about him? I don't care about him. I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually sit down to watch that guy fight. Tevin Farmer, another one. I don't care about watching him fight. Danny Jacobs, I swore. I said I'd never watch another Danny Jacobs. After the crap he put on against Canelo, I said, I ain't watching Danny Jacobs fight again. And I swore to it. I won't watch it again. There's a bunch of guys there, right, that I wouldn't pay to watch. You couldn't pay me to watch them guys, right? There's no entertainment about them. They need to build their story up. They need to start doing more interviews online. They really do. They need to get the finger out their asses and need to start putting themselves, at least put themselves about and start promoting themselves. This post-lockdown era is going to be about people getting off their asses, not just expecting money to come to them. They're going to have to make the money, which means they're going to have to build. It's not just going to be about being able to fight anymore. You're going to have to sell yourself, right? You're going to have to get out there and sell yourselves. You know what I mean? I really do. And I do believe that fans are going to want more action-packed fights, and they're going to have to deliver. And if they're going to have to deliver, that means more 50-50 fights. I don't think this post era is going to accept too many of the Saturday nights where you've got, you know what I'm talking about, 4-rounders main event on Saturday night. You know what I'm talking about. That garbage cannot, I don't think economically that's going to last. So that's my thought on that. I think Whyte shot himself in the foot with the B sample thing, and this will be used against him by promoters as a reason not to fight him. Yeah, that B sample thing really hasn't helped. It hasn't helped at all. But why are you talking about B samples? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me hold you there. Povetkin, Luis Ortiz, Canelo. Well, there's 3 fighters there. Povetkin. How many times have we seen him on Sky? Post getting caught numerous occasions. Ortiz. All right. And who's the other guy? Canelo. I don't hear nobody talk about Canelo about after that beef situation. I was only Canelo. Let's forget about it. He's pound for pound. Forget about him. Come on. I know somebody wants to tell me about Tyson Fury and him getting banned. He got banned, or he sat out for 2 years, and then they said afterwards, yeah, we'll take the ban and we'll say, yeah, 2 years. You can come back now. So come on. Sorry, Ingram, I've learned from my error. Bless you. All in good taste. Boxers lost out an opportunity before the Rona. Now, who knows when they will fight? And we all know the money will be an issue. They will be promoting themselves soon. Yeah, they'll have to. I believe so. I believe boxers may have to go down the route of self-promotion. Yeah, I do. I do. Did Whyte be sample clean? Yeah, well, everyone's going to still have that thing about Dillian Whyte and the sample. And people are selective. Selective. Oh, Dillian Whyte's B sample. But let's turn a blind eye to Canelo. Dillian Whyte's B sample. Let's turn a blind eye to Luis Ortiz, who fought for a world title twice. Canelo. Yeah, he was banned for a few months. Let's turn a blind eye to that. You know, he's fighting Golovkin in a big money super fight. But Liam Cameron, who gets caught with a little bit of cocaine in his system, gets banned for what? 2-3 years, can't box again. Talk to me about that, boxing fans. The indifference is unbelievable. You're right. The issue with Whyte is that he's a dangerous fighter, but not with superior backing. That's how people get away with not wanting to box him. Yeah, I think this a second. Now, all these either pay-per-view star people, you tell me if those pay-per-views are helping Dillian Whyte's career or hindering his career. Yeah, he might be getting money, but you tell me how did I would me personally, I've got a chance to make pay-per-view money here, or I can go to the States and build my profile. First and foremost, the United States is far bigger than the UK. The UK is like a dot in Chicago, right? It's a dot in Chicago. So what I'm trying to say to you is that imagine you being on ESPN fighting. Fury got it right. He left England and he went to the USA. Why? As I remember, you all remember Tyson Fury. Now, don't try and play that Tyson Fury was some big ticket seller, because he wasn't. Often, you'd watch Fury fights and think, oh, God, this guy's boring. Fury was more exciting because of the opponents he fought and the certain guys that brought it to him. Whether he was those fights, he was getting knocked down in fights, the Cunningham fight. But to be honest with you, the Chisora fight, because of the heat Chisora was bringing, it was always about the other guy, the heat the other guy was bringing. Fury was very entertaining pre-fight, but he was never a big ticket seller. So he left. You remember that fight he had against Safa Safiri, and then the other fight he had against Pianetta? Do you remember those fights? Scuttled over to the States, and then you got big coverage. What being on ESPN? The sort of coverage you get on ESPN. I remember talking to Bob Arum about this, and Bob Arum said himself, "Listen, Dillian Whyte come to America, and you get all the America watching you, and then UK watch you as well." So I don't buy this rule. Dillian Whyte's pay-per-view, yeah, and in the UK. If you're a pay-per-view star in America, you really are a pay-per-view. That's how you really know your value. Go to America. Remember the last time Dillian Whyte was in America was it Malcolm Tan? There was about 10 people watching the audience. I'm not trying to be funny. He needs to go back to America. He needs a fight in America. I'm sorry. He really needs to go back to America. Any athlete receives life-changing money suspected, period. That's very true. Outside of the B-Samba controversy, I'm furious that a guy like Whyte has been locked out of a legitimate title shot for all this time. It's disgusting. Yeah, but they did this to Jose Oloshugun. I think they did it. They locked him out for ages, and then they gave him a fight against some complete beast. Fury is well known here in the States. Why is he well known in the States? First and foremost, the first time people really paid attention to Fury, I won't say the Klitschko fight so much, is when Fury and Wilder came face to face together and was shooting off his mouth. That's when the Americans really said, "Oh, who's this boy? Who's this boy?" Lots of Americans say, "Who's this white boy? Who's this white boy?" That's how it is. Who's that? Who's that? Wilder's gonna kill him. Wilder's gonna kill him. That's how the old thing starts, and then it builds up there because you got the UK audience, you got the American audience. That is what built Fury up. Whyte wanted money, not belts. Okay. Fury's mouth and antics made him interesting, not his fighting style. Correct. Fury is not a ticket seller. Correct. He's not a ticket seller. Okay, let's rephrase that. We have to turn that back now. He has the backing of somebody who can sell the tickets now. You understand? But I don't say Fury's a big ticket seller. No. Has Fury proven able to sell pay-per-view without Wilder though? Well, yeah. Who's the opponents though? Who's the opponents? But this was the same thing. But Bob Arum said to me, when Dillian Whyte comes to America, let him fight some American opponents, which I could understand that. He won't last in America. Whyte knows it. Fury profile in America must be decent at this point. It's got to be decent. I mean, come on, he's WWE. He's crossed over. And that, once you've got crossover ability from one sport to another, that makes you unique. Pacquiao had that, where he was able to do basketball and the boxing. Roy Jones did it. And you've got someone like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather did it without all these sponsorships. Amazing. His 2 fights over there was a disaster. Well, listen, whether it's a disaster or not, it's a well-seen disaster, right? You can have a disaster in the UK and not seen that much. You can have a disaster on ESPN and loads of millions of people are watching it around the world. So I'd rather the 2 disasters be on ESPN. But obviously he needs the right dance partner. Agreed. Otto Walling and ticket. Listen, I never said that Otto Walling and Otto Walling was a disaster. Was something great. I never said that. I never said for 1 second that Otto Walling. In fact, the guy beforehand, I saw him. Who was the guy he fought? Not Otto Walling. The one before that, I said that Fury. As soon as Fury put his foot down on him and knocked him over. So yeah, but remember the Walling fight was a disaster. Why I call it? That was a showcase fight, and in the end, Fury almost got beat by Walling. The cut almost got beat by Walling because this would make me a knockover job. A knockover job make Fury look good, but instead he was in a life and death struggle with Otto Walling. Fury's going to be known for supporting statues in the States. Well. Yeah, well, Fury's always going to be behind some form of... I have noticed something about the Furies. Anything to do with the media or anything too controversial, they rein it in now. They learnt the lesson from before. Fury piggyback off the Wilder's name. Nobody, GAF, oh yes, about him outside being attached to Wilder. It's a bit harsh. I mean, he did beat Klitschko. So that's a bit harsh. Fury went into WWE. That was a great marketing move. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't fight Cain Velasquez. Ingram, who has Fury fought outside old Klitschko and Wilder twice? His resume is thin. Well, okay. Let me ask you this question: how many heavyweight world champions have beaten a guy who's had a reign of 10 defenses or more of the heavyweight championship of the world twice? I think Wilder had 10 defenses of the heavyweight title. I think Klitschko had more than 10 defenses of the heavyweight title. So he beat 2 guys who, from one way or the other, will go down as Hall of Famers. So I think when you look at that, I wouldn't say his resume is thin. I'd say the heavyweight division and quality in it is thin. Now that might be more true. Yes, Governor, how we doing? You people up late at night, man. What's going on with you UK people, man? I'm up because I slept during the day. Even if Fury vacates WBC, I think the fight with AJ will be huge. Sometimes big fights can trump unifications and mandatories. Yeah, of course. Of course it will be. But just think for a second, UK fans, have you ever had it so good? The heavyweight division being discussed by Fury, Whyte, and Joshua? 3 guys from the UK? Isn't that incredible? I mean, really? You know, the heavyweight division, and you've got Wilder looking on the outside. That will crush his career after the Wilder fight. Payback as an MF. Wallin has some ability. He wasn't as bad as most thought going in. Maybe Fury team didn't do research, but Schwartz was a poor opponent. Yeah, I think I did in my previous that as soon as Fury touches Schwartz, as soon as he backs him to ropes and hits him, Schwartz will go. And he did. Fury's best wins, in my opinion, outside of Vlad and Wilder, are Chisora, ×2, Wallin, Cunningham, and Hammer, in my opinion. Okay, so Cunningham, former world champion, cruiserweight. Hammer, well, he's not an easy guy to beat. Hammer. He knocked out David Price. Chisora, well, people look at Chisora some beast as he's going up against Usyk. Chisora knocked out Takam. Takam was a guy that even Joshua could knock out. I don't know. You can spin it around as much as you want. Let me see what people think. Let's see here. Tyson, Ward had 10 defenses and he's the hardest puncher with the highest KO percentage in history. Beating him has to count for something. That's what I just said. I said you can't knock Wilder and Klitschko. 2 guys, 2 reigning champions, 10 defenses each. And by the way, just while you talk about that for a second, Hamza, I do remember boxing fans in this country, UK, were saying that Anthony Joshua wasn't ready for Klitschko at the time. So Klitschko was still seen as some form of a formidable opponent. They were talking about this Klitschko beating the likes of Muhammad Ali and knocking out Mike Tyson, and Klitschko was the greatest heavyweight of all time. If you remember, you go reading some of the boxing forums, people didn't know what they were talking about. And Vitaly was a better fighter than this Vladimir, by the way. If you ask me, I would rather it was Vladimir who'd been the Mir and Vitaly had been the chat. I would love to see Vitaly have them belts rather than Vladimir. So I think the heavyweight division might have gone a lot differently if Vitaly was still around, because Vitaly was a different kettle of fish. I really do. I would love to see Fury fight Vitaly. That I'd love to see. Did you just call Wilder a Hall of Famer? 10 defense of the WBC title. Biggest puncher in heavyweight history. Bigger puncher than George Foreman. Mike Tyson. Yeah, I think that's going to be... well, Sylvester Stallone is in the Hall of Fame. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Wilder kind of waiting in the wings. Yeah, he is. Twerk squad. Wilder's already a Hall of Fame. Of course he is. My point exactly. None of the fighters you mentioned are A-level. Domestic and Euro level at best. %90 of the heavyweights you can discredit their records. Problem is, division is top heavy, and most guys below the top 10, say between 10 and 30, are not matched with each other. Agreed. Yes, solid domestic fringe Euro level hammer is like a durable European level guy. Good opponents for guys like Jokovic. Yes. Well, I'd like to see. We'll see. You see, in time, we'll see how good these guys actually are when they face other opponents than Tyson Fury. Did you call Wilder Hall of Fame? I'm calling 999. You're calling 999. Okay. Yeah. Why are you calling 999? You're wasting people's time, aren't you? Wow. Man like Ingram Jones. How's things going? Well, you tell me. You tell me, brother. You tell me. He is a Hall of Fame contender. Gatti's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Gatti's in the Hall of Fame. Gatti's in the Hall of Fame. How many people did Gatti beat with 10 defenses of the WBC title? Yeah, exactly. Keep thinking about it. How many times has Sylvester Stallone boxed as a professional fighter? Huh? How many titles did Sylvester Stallone win? He's a Hall of Fame. So if Sylvester Stallone's Hall of Fame, then it's damn right that Deontay Wilder should be Hall of Fame. Have you seen Vlad lately? What is he taking at his age? Vlad's making a comeback next year. Trust me, Vlad is coming back next year. Vladimir Klitschko's coming back next year. I believe so. I truly believe that. I think Vitaly versus Fury would have been a trilogy. There would have been knockdowns on both sides. I think Vlad might have edged it. I like Vlad. I do like Vitaly. I love Vitaly. Things are going well, my friend. WTFC. I don't know who WTFC is, but obviously you know me more than I know you. So if you could let me know who you are, then I can address you appropriately. Vitaly Klitschko on the way to beat Lennox before stoppage, avenged one of his 2 losses and was rugged and technically savage. Yeah, I think so. Vitaly Klitschko, and then his 2020 version is Herkovic, like I mentioned and did a preview of him recently. Wilder deserves credit for Stavern 1 and Ortiz 1. Many thought he would lose both going in, and everyone calls Ortiz old and garbage now. But if AJ and Fury beat Ortiz, same people say great win. Yeah, but listen, on this channel, did I not state that Luis Ortiz, before he fights Wilder, is the bogeyman of the division? He's the most dangerous man in the division. Well, I understood. If you're going to call a man a bogeyman, who did he beat to become the bogeyman? Like, when Ali beat Sonny Liston, you could call him the baddest man on the planet because he beat Sonny Liston. When Ali beat George Foreman, and George Foreman was a bad man, and he was knocking people out left, right, and center. When Ali beat Foreman, you could call him the baddest man on the planet because he genuinely beat a bad man. But who did Mike Tyson beat to be the baddest man on the planet? Up to this day, I don't know. And up to this day, I still don't know who Luis Ortiz beat to be a bogeyman. I don't get it. Who did you beat? Who did you beat? Brian Jennings? What? Who did you beat? Dave Allen? Who did you beat to be a bogeyman? I don't get it. So I said, when Wilder gets a hold of Ortiz and hits him on the chin, timber. What happened? Hamza, Wilder's already Hall of Fame. They mad. Mr. P. O'Neill. Oh my word, where have you been, Mr. O'Neill? And I didn't know you were on Facebook. You're on the Facebook page? You legend. Hey, I started back a Arsenal series, so check that out. Fury would have beaten Vitaly easy. Oh my God. Oh my word. Oh Lord. Yeah, of course he would. Of course he would, because Vitaly Klitschko, as you saw in his career, got beaten easily by Lennox Lewis, and yeah, of course he would. Yeah, right. There was a statue of Rocky, a fictional character in Philly, before Joe Frazier. If Rocky gets love, why not Wilder? I think Rocky was based on Joe Frazier loosely. I believe that Rocky was based on Joe Frazier. I'm sure that was it. Wilder gets too much unnecessary hate, in my opinion. I'm being objectifiable about this. Too many people have their own agendas. Of course they do. We know it. Because one is white and the other is black. Well, yeah, we know that. Fury refused to fight Ortiz. He did. And actually, if you go back and look on this channel, the interview with Mr. Fury and why he refused Luis Ortiz. He said, I refuse to fight. Why do I want to fight Luis Ortiz? He's awkward, don't bring any money in, and his own supporters don't support him. So yeah, you don't bring the money in. So why do I want to fight him? He's awkward, he's southpaw. Why do I want to fight him? So yeah, Fury didn't want to fight him, but Fury's a businessman. A lot of people talk boxing, but don't talk business, right? When you talk boxing, you got to talk business first and fandom second. But a lot of people talk fandom first and forget the business aspect of boxing, and it don't work. It just don't make sense. It's like stepping in the shower when like actually flicking the shower on, expecting the water to come down. Nah, you have to deal with the business aspect of boxing first. Boxing is business first, fans second. But there are people that think, yeah, the fans matter. Yeah, the fans matter after the business has been done. Anyone who thought it would KOs and every rematch KOs his opponent quicker until Fury has to be some kind of legend. Deontay Wilder, of course he is. And of course, Wilder will be appreciated more when he retires. Ortiz's resume is thin. His best wins is Brian Jennings. He beat an old Tony Thompson, Malik Scott, Hammer, and Dave Allen. Bogeyman. I mean, look, people are going to hate me for saying this, but they say Spence is the bogeyman of the division. Who did Spence beat to be the bogeyman of the division? Who was the bogeyman of the welterweight division that Spence beat? Please let me know. I don't get it. I say Crawford's the bogeyman of the welterweight division. Who did Crawford beat? Amir Khan? Who did Crawford beat to be the bogeyman? It's just things people put out there to just PR BS. But who have you beaten to be a bogeyman? Okay, you know, Spence squeaked past Porter. Does that make you a bogeyman? It don't make, in my mind, don't make you a bogeyman. I don't understand these statements because they don't. When you really look deeper into them, they make no sense. They just sound good. Fury took a dive from rematch with Vlad. Why? Well, maybe it's contractual. Same thing with Whyte. He said Ortiz is a grandfather, but he fought what? Brown, Whyte, and Povetkin. I like Dillian, but he's being hypocritical. Nathan, let me hold you there. Didn't Ortiz challenge the great Alexander Usyk? And they agreed to fight, and Usyk pulled out. All right, or maybe I was wrong about that. I concur. And Dillian Caesar said he was open to fight Mike Tyson, who's in his 50s. Again, I repeat, business first, boxing second. If business wasn't first and boxing fans were first, business wouldn't work. Now, gotta build fights. Yes, it's just a selling point. Every unbeaten guy gets labeled a bogeyman. Oh, of course, but I don't get fooled into that. Mr. Ingram, you have a nice haircut. You look like Soul Man. I wouldn't call it a nice haircut. We're getting there. This is a project, my brother. This is a project. We're working on a project. Just as the lockdown began, I got the haircut. And I'm just working on it. I'm working on it. Love the afro. So come on, throw something at me, man. I'm going to stay on for another 5-6 minutes. I like Spence, but certain YouTubers are pushing him hard. They're making him bigger than he is. A lot of fan talk. Yeah, he's decent. Decent. That's it. Spence ain't great. And I love his trainer. Love him, Derek James. I love that man. I've met him in person, spent good time with him. I love that brother, and I should really be talking to him a lot more. So don't take a slack for that. I need to be spending more time with Derek James. So Derek, if you're watching, much love to you, brother, and I need to converse with you more. Maybe now we can make it happen because of the way setups are here now on the channel. If business is first, I'm waiting to see Ingram versus KSI. Hell of a build-up. You're funny. Maybe you should get some gloves on and box KSI. Adam Smith said the best thing about Oscar Urias and like Ortiz is best win is Brian Jennings. Yeah, I guess we have a choice. We either just accept the fighters for what they are. We don't get caught up in resumes. Look, check this. If you looked at Floyd Mayweather's resume, right, he's got a better resume than Gennady Golovkin, right? He's got a better record than Gennady Golovkin. Usyk's got a better record than Lomachenko. Yeah? Crawford's got a better record, I would say, than Lomachenko, only because Crawford's been undisputed. You see? So, I don't know. You can either appreciate the fighters for what they've got and who they are and enjoy the journey, or you can rip them to shreds and there'll be no legends. Because if you really went about it, people said, oh, well, Crawford fought, Hagler fought guys that were smaller than him. You could just rip through, you know, Leonard fought for 2 weight division. I think he fought Danny Lalonde for the super middleweight and light heavyweight title on one night, I believe. I can't be wrong about that. So you can rip that to shreds if you want to. You can rip Manny Pacquiao's career to shreds. You can say, well, Mayweather didn't fight this person. I don't care. I've never seen the perfect resume in boxing. Never seen it. I've never seen it up to this day. If you can find me the perfect resume in boxing, let's talk. Mickey Theo is a bogeyman overlord. Jenny's a decent boxer, but beating him doesn't make you elite. Ingram, I don't like how Spence freezes up when he's under attack. Plus, his footwork is lacking a bit. I see some flaws. He's good all round, though. I thought you put your God all round. Fans would love you. Yeah, he's all right. He's decent. He's not Mike McCallum. You know, he's no Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, he's no Terry Norris. He's all right. He's all right. I just don't think he's great. So, yeah, too many people go crazy on resumes when predicting fights. Stars make fights. Of course they do. Wasn't Lomachenko like 387 and 1 in the amateurs? Yeah. It was a shame Lopez knocked him out, though, wasn't it? Moving on. Amateurs ain't pros, though. No, it isn't. That's a fact. Wasn't Augie Harris an Olympic champion? Wasn't Tyrell? Didn't Henry Tillman beat Mike Tyson? Didn't Tyrell Biggs beat Lennox Lewis? And your point is, yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, and yeah, he had a great amateur career, and Anthony Yard didn't have that much of a career, amateur career, and how much did he make in one fight against Kovalev? And Lomachenko's no Adidas global ambassador, is he? You have to laugh sometimes. That's the thing. When you look at things like that, and you go, "Oh yeah, but he's a great amateur." Yeah, right. But you're saying amateur boxing is pro boxing. You know, I'm sorry, but sometimes it just has to be put out there like that. Maybe it's brutal, maybe it's savage, maybe. By the way, smash the like button when you're in the room, please. Do smash the like button. I appreciate it. It does help when you smash the like button, you know. But gosh, I'm not knocking that. Lomachenko is a fantastic amateur. I'm not saying that. I do think, however, he's got his hands full against Lopez. And if the Luke Campbell fight is anything to go by, Lomachenko is in decline. Because Lopez is a different gravy to Luke Campbell. I think Fury beats Vitali because he has more agile and faster. And I think Ortiz and Usyk would win Fury style mixed fights. You think Fury beats Vitali because he's more agile? Yeah. Well, I'd say Shannon Briggs is pretty agile. Thought Lennox Lewis is pretty agile. I think Lennox Lewis is, for me, far better, more equipped than Tyson Fury. I think Fury's herky jerky, southpaw orthodox makes him tricky, but I think someone like Lennox Lewis would close the range down on Fury, use jab, get inside and throw them uppercuts. I really do. Dillian deserves a world title shot. Do you feel his promoter has delayed things and could have got him in sooner? I think Dillian Whyte has been used as the gatekeeper in the matchroom, heavyweight matchroom ranks. That's what I think. My brother, Mr. Youssef, good evening, salam alaikum, as they say. Monday, don't forget the final bell, fam. Yo, come on and promote it. Come on and talk about it. You wanna come on for 5 minutes and talk about it? You can come on for 5 minutes to talk about it. I can send you the link. You can jump in the room and tell everyone about the final bell. You want to do it, bro? You can do. More than welcome. Did you hear Eddie Hearn penning a book? Does his life really warrant an autobiography? What does he have to say right about? Yeah, success. He wants to talk about, I think from what it looks like, he wants to talk about how to be successful from a silver spoon society. Yeah. Success. How I became very successful having everything given to me. Can't. Oh, you can't. Oh, is your show going to start soon, my brother? Is your show going to start soon? Lewis was out of shape, Ingram, and Shannon Briggs was an old as a dinosaur. That's what I'm saying to you. So Lennox Lewis, Pete Lennox Lewis beats Vitaly Klitschko. And Shannon Briggs was an old dinosaur. Yeah, listen. You say that, if Briggs catches you, you'll sign about old dinosaur. He was an old dinosaur when Vitaly beat him up, yeah? And notice how David Haye wanted no part of him at no point in time. I'm coming on. Am I? Monday? Wait, I thought it was Wednesday night. Am I? Oh, okay. Then I better get myself on then. Yeah, I'll jump on, no problems. I thought it was Wednesday night, bro. I thought it was Wednesday. I had myself plugged for, what day is it? It's Tuesday today. You sure tonight, bro? I thought it was Wednesday night. Bro, you need to clue me up here. I thought Wednesday night is the show, not Tuesday night. What's this? He's born into money. Hearn has already told everyone his life story. If you want to talk about somebody who's egocentric, that man is egocentric. That's what it is. Yeah, with all those 4 long-hour interviews, he loves the limelight. Real vain. Yeah, I know. You know, poor man celebrity. Frank Warren documentary would be fire. Oh yeah, now that's the man I would sit down and listen to. Love Frank. I love Frank. I just love Frank. Frank Warren's just a different class. I love Frank. I really do. People give him a lot of stick, but you know why I love Frank? Because he's substance. He's substance. He knows how to take a man from prospect to champion, and he's done it over and over and over again. Next Monday, 29th. Bro, you give a man's heart attack. Listen, next Monday. But bro, I thought it was Wednesday night. I had myself all hyped up for Wednesday night. Now you say next Monday. I mixed up the dates, fam. Listen, all you boxing fans out there, check out the final bell. Can you give them the details, please, in the description box so I can flag it up for them? Yeah. Hearn certainly won't appeal to many working class people. Oh, he wouldn't. He certainly wouldn't. You either like him or you dislike him. I don't care one way or the other. Some people seem to think that you have to talk, when you talk boxing, you got to mention him. I don't feel that all. I'm not of that belief system. And it's like, just very slight, just switching subject slightly, but you'll see the connection. Why is it when there is some issue regarding the black community, people roll out John Barnes? And why is it? Why is it? Question number one, and this is particularly for the UK fans. And number two, why is it that people really care about what the promoter has to say, who doesn't know how to break down a box? I mean, this guy doesn't know boxing. He doesn't. I mean, you look at the amount of fights that he's matched his guys with, and they've all got beaten up and outclassed. That's surely a sign that you don't know what you're doing. But I don't worry about promoters either. No, I wouldn't either. Ingram, remember when Eddie Hearn was talking about a US takeover and how pay-per-view was dead when DAZN entered the US market? He stopped talking about that a while ago. His American endeavor has been a failure. Well, this is the same Eddie that turned around and told me in an interview that Al Heyman coming to the UK, how's he going to get a TV deal? As we know, that is just talk. You got to take what the promoter says in one ear and out the next. My mum used to say to me, you know, Ingram, you listen to things in one ear and out the next. And sometimes, for the majority of the time, for certain promoters, you've got to watch their history, what they say and what they actually do. It's not about what they say, it's about what they actually do. And the promoter's credit either goes up in my estimation by when they say something and they deliver it, as opposed to every time they say something and it goes pear-shaped, is how you read the credibility of a promoter. The credibility of a promoter, and his stable. Credibility. You think to yourself, how many fighters have come in and out of their stable, and how many pay-per-view fighters have you got in the UK? How many genuine pay-per-view fighters have you got in the UK? And then how many careers have been ruined in the UK with guys who potentially could have been pay-per-view stars? That's what you got to ask yourself. Danger Zone, Boxing Talk on Facebook, the Final Bell podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. Due to July the 4th holiday show will be on Monday the 29th. Thank you very much. Phil Harv, bro, what's going on? What's going on, brother? What's going on, bruv? What's going on? What's been going on? Because John Barnes isn't the most militant, to say the least. I guess they figure they have the pacify effect on black people in the UK. John Barnes, the new Martin Luther King of the UK. You know what I mean? And they still can't give the man a damn job in management. They can't give a man a decent job. They can't give the man a good, decent job in football management. But this man keeps getting rolled out time after time after time to talk about racism. And he's a guy that should have got more opportunities as football management. John Barnes. Love him. And if you look at my YouTube channel again, you look on the gaming section, look at Peds, or Pro Evolution Soccer 20. John Barnes took him, made him manager, and he managed Luton Town, took him to the Premiership in the first season, and we won the Premiership in the first season with John Barnes. Check that out. Very good view. You're welcome, my friend. You're more than welcome. It's been great to have you on the show. So, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before we end? Look, I know I might not be everyone's cup of tea, and I'm not an entertainer. Now, I want to make the difference between an entertainer and a creator. An entertainer is one that does things to please the public. That's an entertainer. Like a DJ goes to entertain. He plays certain tunes that people want to hear, right? I'm not that. I'm a creator. Do you know what creator is? A creator says, well, I please myself, and I'll say what I feel first. And if you like it, great. If you like what I'm creating, great. If you don't, fine. That's a creator. And there's a big difference. If I was an entertainer on YouTube, I can tell you now that I probably would have had Because for every one person that says, "You did a great job," somebody else going, "Yeah," to you. But even if it's a this or that, it's still viewing it. So it's still considered a view, which is great. Lewis Hamilton is a dark horse. He's unapologetic. Yeah, well, I hate to be a cynic, but I hope that he checks his car every time he drives it. That's all I can say to Lewis Hamilton about that. It's a dangerous sport to be in, and yeah, making statements like that, and you're driving a car. You're not in an industry which is run by your own, so you have to be very careful. My Grenadian brother. Can't wait for boxing to restart. Been going to a few recent shows. Good. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm looking forward to boxing coming back. I certainly am. I don't understand quite, though, this country. I want to talk about very quickly the lockdown and this country and the mentality. They're saying now that the pubs can open, the barbers can open, the pubs can open, restaurants can open, but the health gyms, the gyms and leisure centres can't open. To me, that's a bit of a scratch my head moment. Ingram, what do you think about fighters' social media antics and talking while fighting subpar opposition? Ryan Garcia, I'm getting tired of his BS. I said it already. I think I did a show on Ryan Garcia. The guy is nothing more than a hype job. That's what you call a proper hype job. I know boys who used to regularly beat him up in sparring, beat him up regular. And the best thing Ryan Garcia did was go to the Canelos, go with Canelo and Canelo see, because that saved his career, I think. They know that if Ryan Garcia is, you see, if Ryan Garcia was in the UK, he'd have been beat already. If Ryan Garcia was in the UK and he fought under Matchroom, he'd have been beaten already. We've got enough examples of it. Now, he's a golden goose. Now, he wouldn't have got treated no differently than Kell Brook got treated, or even Joshua got treated. Look at the way Josh got treated. They threw him under the bus. Of course they threw him under the bus. How? There was an opportunity for him to fight Trevor Bryant. So he can defend his title in America against Trevor Bryant. No, you get a guy stylistically is just not right for Joshua. And then, the heavyweight championship world is in the hands of Andy Ruiz. So the way to sell a fight in boxing nowadays is just to shout at somebody on Twitter. That's what it's become. Neil Hart. How long will boxing take? Years to get back to the level it was at? Good question, Neil. Good evening. Question is, what was the level? What was the level boxing was at? That's the question you've got to ask yourself before we can say the level it was at. What was that level? You want me to be a cynic? Corrupt judging, corrupt referees, lots of hometown decisions, injustice for many fighters, A side, B side. That's what we had in boxing. Post that, can promoters, managers afford to have more 50-50 fights? Economically, obviously, boxing would have been hit. So I think to recoup some money, some fighters are going to have to get down and fight. Andrade Jacobs Charlo. Fights are going to have to happen. That's what I'm thinking. Because I don't think boxing economy can afford to have too many Ryan Garcia fights. You get what I'm saying? Fights where a guy blows a guy in a round. Unless it's a guy that's coming out of the amateurs, the Olympics, and building up. He's got a stellar amateur career, and that's different. And they're building him up. John Barnes is a tool for talking about racism and rapping. LOL. Yeah, that's a shame. But I would ask John Barnes, if you really want to talk about racism, my friend, why don't you try and apply for a job trying to become the England manager, or get a job trying to manage one of the top elite Premier League squad teams. They will know whether you really kicking out racing or not. Lion Ryan turned down Fortuna. Yeah, I'm getting tired of this kid. I'm fed up. I'm fed up already. Yeah, against health and well-being. Well, that's too bad for them because I'm for it, as you'll soon find out. Yeah, they're sparring fixture and getting backed up. Yeah, boxing was massive at the highest level. Really? Was it massive at the highest level? Well, we had Wilder versus Fury. Okay. Porter versus Spence. I wouldn't call that a super fight. So Wilder versus Fury was a big fight. Was a major. Yeah, I think that was a big fight. Yeah, that was a big fight. Joshua versus Ruiz 2 was big because Joshua got beat. It wasn't meant to happen that way. How many super fights can I think about that really... Pacquiao, Thurman? Thurman wasn't the same fighter. Name me some big fights. Dillian Whyte will beat Tyson Fury. I mean, he's got the style to do it. He's got the style to work Fury's body, work his head, the big left hook over the top. He's got the style to do it. He's definitely got a style to do it. Fury Whyte will be a great fight, but I pick Fury. Okay. I respect your opinion. Joe Joyce said he wants to tune it for Dubois. How long was this lockdown? March, April, May, June. When was Joyce's last fight? I don't know. I don't know. I think Joyce is going to beat Dubois. But I think Joyce is far more experienced than Dubois. I really do. I just don't know who Dubois has fought to really warrant him even be fighting Joyce. And I don't know why Joyce is fighting Dubois, to be honest. There's so many other guys in the heavyweight division that Joyce could be fighting. I would rather see Joyce fight someone like Christian Hammer, Kubrat Pulev. Yeah, those are the guys I want to see Joyce fight. I don't want to see him fight Dubois. Tune-up should be banned. I've picked Dubois. I've picked Joyce by knockout over Dubois. I just don't think Dubois doesn't handle pressure very well, and I think that Joyce will back him to the ropes and then set about him. And I think he'll stop Dubois with his back against the ropes. Audience-wise, boxing was very high. Maybe not the matchups, but the fans were loving it. What? The darts fans? The darts fans. I mean, listen, there were some stinkers on Saturday nights. Some dreadful, garbage fights on Saturday nights. Absolute trash. There were some fights. Listen, there was times people say boxing. I said, that's cool. I'll be carrying on playing Football Manager. There were boxing, a lot of boxing in the UK just turned me off. It's disgusting. I just like, you know what? I'll be literally on my PS4. I'll be on my PS4 playing FIFA, and somebody say, mate, do you know the boxing? I said, yeah, who's fighting? You did it. I said, all right, let me know the result. When you're sitting down and you're playing a game, and you're all right, and you're still playing. That's not how it used to be. You know what I mean? The Saturday night was big fight live. You think I would dare back in the day be on my PlayStation 1 or my Amiga or my whatever it was at the time, and I'd be on my Mega Drive, probably my Mega Drive. You think I'd be on my Mega Drive and then say to me, Big Fight Live Saturday night? You think I am Big Fight Live Saturday night? I would be running downstairs to watch TV. Or on BBC One, when they had boxing BBC One at the Royal Albert Hall. You know what I mean? Whether it be Gary Mason versus Everett Bigfoot Martin, or Bruno versus Bugner, or God, Ben versus the guy from round the corner. You just loved it. You know, whether it's Ben versus Umbayo, or, you know, Ben versus Doug DeWitt. You know, the commentary team, Reg Guttridge, Jim Watt. You knew it was big fight time. And Sky was, you know, Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark. You had the big fight team. You know what I mean? They'd be there. They'd giving you the big fight build-up. They'd give you in-depth build-up for a fight. Something of substance. Something you could learn from. Now today, you've got a bunch of jokers, a bunch of company men up there talking a whole bunch of not who should be winning the fight, more the case of their man, talking about their man and how great their man is and how wonderful, how great their man. Not giving substance between the two fighters and really giving you a real, unless it's a fight of so big that it can't be as biased. My God, when they turned around and told you that McGregor and Mayweather was a 50-50 fight, stuff like that should be, people who say that it's 50-50 fight, things like that, there should be some law about that. What they call it? It's the trading standards, where you're saying something is something that it's not. You know, you're telling me something's baked beans, but when I look at it inside, it's freaking got rice in it. No, that crap's got to stop. And the commentators are ruining the sport. Yeah, especially if the big fights aren't even being made. You must watch as much boxing as you can. You must be missing it. Ha, no, listen, I've become a diva for boxing. There's a certain standard within me, yeah? And I'm sorry, there's some pay-per-views that should never, ever in the history of boxing be pay-per-views. I should do an evening on it, right? Like Kell Brook versus flipping Frankie Gavin. How the hell that ever became a pay-per-view, I don't know. Do you remember the years with the full Monty? You had Prince Naseem Hamed and Joe Calzaghe. That boxing was, those nights were fire. Joe Calzaghe, Robin Reed. Those were big nights of boxing. Do you mean? Reed fighting for the world title. They were big nights of boxing. Frank Bruno when he fought Oliver McCall for the heavyweight championship of the world. Big nights of boxing. My God, where have they gone? Bruno Tyson too. Bruno. That was one of the best ever promotions in the UK. Now, when you watch that, even if Bruno was going to get himself smashed to bits, but if you remember the build-up to Bruno versus Tyson, there's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way. That is what it was all about. That's what it was about. You quit commentating due to the recent boring shows. Of course. I mean, I'm more excited, right? I'm more excited than the fights itself. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And you know, the one thing about commentating is when I swear they do it for sure. And I don't know how they do it, especially in America, where they've got that fight beforehand, and you're like this, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, you like this, like, Any news of Katie Taylor versus Serrano? Yeah, Serrano's going to beat her ass. That's the news. Next. Ingram, one beat you off. Hamza, if they want fans to return, no tune-ups. No tune-ups. Got any live interviews lined up? Yeah, there's always live interviews, right? I tell you, I'm so thankful because we're going to have more people on board at BWTM shortly. It's just so tiring. It really is exhausted. I tell you, before, in the days where you used to get interviews all the time, I've got guys lined up. But you know, all it takes is one guy to not turn up for an interview. And do you know now how exhausting that is? Because you spend all the time preparing for the interview, like the Ray Mercer interview. We had it all set up, didn't show up. And then he gives me the interview, call him back, and it's like, it's just not the same, you know? So bear with me on it. I will get some more interviews going for sure. PBC Cup Porter. Well, that green slip was unforgivable, but I don't know. I thought Porter was quite a good analyst, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, sure, Porter can get a job elsewhere. Porter's good at what he does. I think he's good with his analytical stuff. I'd like to see Porter do more work. So I guess he's got his break with PBC, so he can go out other way and sell himself. So I like Porter because he's shown that he can do stuff outside the ring. Good for him. It's sad to hear that he's been cut by PBC, but somebody had to go. Bruno Tyson 3. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Absolutely not. No. Bruno's got top up twice already. You want to see that boy get top up again? No. Should we get rid of a weight below middleweight? Oh, by the way, did you hear there's going to be a new weight division? There's going to be a new weight division. I believe there's going to be a super heavyweight division. Yes, I heard there's going to be a super heavyweight division. Yeah, there's going to be a super heavyweight division. So there's not a gap between. So the big guys, a super heavyweight division. That's what I heard. And there was going to be a light cruiserweight or something like that. So yeah, there's going to be some more divisions coming in boxing. Don't know when they're going to put it in, but they did talk about it, and they were definitive it was going to happen. Yeah, like GG versus Samara. Well, nobody wants to see that BS. Yeah, but isn't GG got a career now? Dear me. Booked him for a haircut yet? No, son, no haircut, bro. This is staying, Neil. This is staying, bro. This is the afro, bro. I don't know, but I don't know kind of when you look like a quite a mature man. So this is the old mature. This is the old afro, bro. This is the 70s, 80s afro that we're staying here at the moment. We're just keeping the afro going here a little longer, and then we're going to do something different with it. But we're growing it. It's the project. But we got to stick with the vision, bro. Got to stick with it. Can't cut it off. Like, you know, having a bro, I haven't had a hair like this for 20 years. You know how long it took for me to get my hair like this? So yeah, had to be done. Porter and Abner asked what we commented on Inside the PBC. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's a real shame. It's a real shame. This is quite a long show today. Only because I've had a good sleep during the day. I haven't been really well, so I've been trying to get some rest. So no, I haven't got coronavirus. Just before you start being naughty and saying coronavirus and how you lot can get 4th of July, Independence Day. Hey, and on July the 15th, my birthday, I believe the airports open in the UK, July the 15th. July the 1st, it's in Canada. I think most of the airports around the world will be open on July the 1st. July the 15th is when the UK airport opens. Carvey Brook, will it happen? I flipping hope not. I flipping hope not. You got one guy who can't see probably out of one eye, and you got another guy who's got a chin problem. I mean, you really want to see that? You really want to see that? Cannot beat Brook. No way, no shape, no form. As soon as Brook clatters him with that right hand, it's over. But yeah, barbershops. So all I'm going to do when I go to the barbershop, if anything, get a trim here, get shaved up there, shave the sides, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Right, anybody else want to talk about any pressing issues on the channel? Please do check out the sports channel as well. The rest of the gaming on the sports channel as well. Calm Brook should have happened years ago. And at this point, do most people even care? Both are coming to the end. Yeah, get down. Frankly, I don't want to see any of them box again. I don't want to see any of them box again. Period. They both can retire now. I don't want to see them again. Brooke Crawford, oh God. Yeah, I talked about this about 6 months ago about Brooke Crawford. I don't want to see that fight either. Don't want to see that fight. What is going on with Crawford's career? Now I talk about him fighting Ugas. Crawford needs to get himself fighting the best fighters in the world. I'm sick and tired of him fighting the green machine, the yellow machine, the red machine, the blue machine. I want to see him fight somebody else, man. I'm fed up with Crawford. His career is going for me like this, like that. Every fight he takes is going like that. Because he's not fighting anybody that really think, who cares? I'm getting to the point of Terence Crawford where I can't be able to see him fight. Like, if he fights, it's going to get to one and one say, yeah, all right, Crawford's fighting. Okay, all right, that's fine. I'll watch a replay. That's how it's getting with Crawford. I don't even think Khan would want that fight. Crawford might fight Ugas. So what? And who's Ugas at the end of the day? Ugas is a good fighter, but who is he? What's he done? What has he done? At this point, Crawford, an established champion, needs to be fighting the likes of Porter, Spence, Garcia. They're three guys he should be fighting. Even he should fight the guy called Ray Robinson that beat him in the amateurs. The last guy to beat him in the amateurs was Ray Robinson. At least fight Ray Robinson. Damn, give the guy a break. Fight Ray Robinson. That's the last guy to beat you as an amateur. Thoughts on Bud Crawford saying he doesn't want to take pay cut and won't fight again this year. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Guys that are, for me, I won't say guys overpaid, but really, I don't care really if I don't see Crawford at the end of the year. I don't care. I mean, he's not that important to me in boxing. I rate him. I like him as a fighter, but he's not Pearl Whitaker when you're talking about the sort of guys Whitaker fought from Trinidad to Chavez to Azuma Nelson to Oscar De La Hoya. He's no Pearl Whitaker in that sense. You know what I mean? Pearl Whitaker went out and challenged himself. Crawford ain't doing that because he's hiding behind the damn promoter. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys, I think, when the financial cuts hit the asses of guys like Bob Arum, you're going to see these guys have to fight, forced into fighting. Usyk Chisora, has he got a date yet? I wonder. I wonder if that fight will even go ahead. Crawford said, yeah, he should have gone to PBC. Yeah, Crawford's a jackass. They are ducking Crawford. No, they're not. Yeah, Crawford versus Pac fight is off the table according to Bob. Yeah, of course it is. If Pac-Man destroys Crawford, then what happens? Public interest in Brooke Khan is at rock bottom. Both past it. They both can retire as far as I'm concerned. Pros at the Olympics, is that still happening? Bloody well hope not, but it has happened before. Ivana Habazan went to fight in the Olympic for the Olympic team, and she got beat. So that closes the chapter on that. Next, Ugas did beat Ray Robinson, decent fighter, but yeah, Crawford needs elite names. They did beat Ray Robinson, yeah, but who cares? That Ugas has got no backstory apart from the guy who beat Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson and Crawford have got unfinished business called Ray Robinson beat Crawford. It's the last guy to beat Ray Robinson in the amateurs. And I tell you something, if that was in the UK, you guys would chew that shit up. As soon as the promoter says, yeah, well, he beat me in the amateurs, so, daring to be great as a pro. As long as your promoter said that crap, you'd chew that shit up and you would actually watch it. But Americans are a little bit more... they're a little bit more, they accept it. Croach Chris, my friend. Terence Crawford might be the best boxer in the game. He's just got a promoter that's hell bent on not promoting him. Yeah, I would say, I say that, Coach Chris, because I love Terence. I mean, I was one of the first guys to talk to Terence, extensively, and still one of the only guys in boxing to boxing media to have got 2 extended over 15-minute interviews with Terence Crawford. But the thing is this, you say he might be one of the best boxers. Well, I know Usyk is one of the best boxers. because he's has fought the best. Terence Crawford needed a World Boxing Super Series for me. You know, he did what he did at lightweight. It was fantastic. We need to forget about it now and now talk about the welterweight division. And he needs to step up and he needs to take the fights. It's very easy saying, well, he's one of the best fighters. Agreed. But, you know, you have to show yourself also, on the other hand, to want to fight the big fights. Coach Chris, if you're available, it would be great to be able to get you in the room. If we can get you in this evening and you're free, I'd love to bring you in because I'm sure we were talking about, what's it? PEDs in boxing. So my apologies for not getting back earlier, but if I can get you on that, I said if you ever came back on the show again, I'd pull you up and say, hey, let's do it now. So if you want to do it, let me know and I can send you an invite. We can talk about that. Crawford, yeah, I've said it. I've said it for the longest while that Crawford should have gone to PBC. But if you go to the PBC, then, you know, the diva behavior you've got at the moment and say, oh, well, the promoter don't want to promote me. Simple. But he could pull out of that. He could easily pull out of that if he wanted to. Why did Josh Kelly not rematch Ray Robinson? More BS. Oh, because Josh Kelly got his ass kicked, got beat up. Thompson BBC need a step up, in my opinion. PBK. Oh, our pretty boy Kelly. Not much. Exposed. That's what you call exposed. He got exposed by Ray Robinson, as simple as that. It wasn't a bad night. He got exposed. That's it. I agree with you on Ugas. He can box, but no name value, so it's a tough sell. I agree. Yeah, well, why is Crawford fighting him? Why is Crawford fighting Ugas? Don't get the point. What is your favorite weight division right now? All right, I'm gonna be honest. The welterweight division, PBC. Why? Because they've got a lot of the fighters. You know, you can see the fights. You're more likely to see Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Porter, Danny Garcia, Spence. You're more likely to see the fights. You're more likely to see the best fights happening. So I think it's the best division in the world at the moment. The welterweight division. It's the closest thing, in my opinion, to the UFC in terms of the best fighting the best. Josh Kelly is supposed to fight him. Yeah, no, he's supposed to fight that guy, isn't he? And what am I weighing? You're trying to set up a fight for me here. Don't know. 14 stone, maybe? 13.5 stone? What's the weight of super heavyweight? 240 plus? I don't know. Let's check that one out. I'm with it, my guy. Let me know. Always love talking about the use of PEDs. Okay, can I send you a link now? Would you like to jump on now and talk about it? It'll be a long show, but I mean, while you're here, we could jump on and do a show now while we're at it. And just talk a little briefly about it. Let me know your thoughts on it. Why not? Because I was meant to do it, and I have been quite tired of late, so it'd be great to jump you in the room now and do it if we can. Does Fury have to fight Whyte before AJ? Yes. So if you want to, we can jump in and do it now. Bantamweight looks like a very good division. Inoue, Casemiro, Neary, Billy, but the smaller weights get less attention. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the bantamweights. Yeah, they've got some great fighters there. But personally, it's PBC. That's the glamour division for me. Why not? Okay, let's do it. How do you want me to do this to you? How do you want me to send this to you? I can send it. I can send you the email. We'll do it now while I can because I'm pretty. I'll send you a link now. You can jump straight in. Because I said that I was gonna bring you on the show and talk about it. So let's see if we can get your email now. Yeah, I'm going to send you the link now, Coach Chris. You got your email address there? Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to compose the email. Won't you let me compose an email? Let me do it with my phone. It'll be faster with my phone. Would Rocky Balboa beat Frank Bruno? Absolutely not. Because if he got hit by Bruno, he wouldn't be getting up. Let's share the screen, share the link, invite. Oh, I can send the email right here. What am I doing? Copy that. Let's do it this way. Nice to get you in the room, Coach Chris. I might have done it in the wrong one. Okay. Can you send me your email address now, Coach Chris? Just send me the code. Can you send me your email address? Papa always wins. Yeah, he does. I think Bruno was offered the opportunity to fight in one of the Rocky movies, but Bruno said, "Well, you know, I'm always getting beat up by Mike Tyson, so you know, don't want to get beat up in fantasy as well. Better enough getting beat by Mike." I think he said something along them lines. So Bruno was meant to be rumored in one of the movies. Who do you rate as the best 3 UK boxers in this current time? Best all UK. Okay. Let's get it here. You, Chris. Okay. Let's do it now. Let's get you in there, Chris. All right, got it now, Chris. I'm just getting it now. UK. What's going on here? My one button won't work. You're having a laugh, aren't you? You're a jolly, you? Oh, there you go. It's been sent, my brother. The link has been sent. I think Josh Warrington's got to be up there. Josh Warrington, Tyson Fury, be 2. Yes, Hamza. Is Nathan Gorman any good? I don't know. I think maybe he froze on a big occasion. I just shot you to your Instagram. Yep, I just shot it back to your email. Josh Warrington, Shaka Stevenson. I think Shaka points, but this is a good fight. Yep. Chris Eubank Jr., your thoughts? I like Chris. He's just down the road from me. He's like half an hour away from me. I like Chris Jr. Coach Chris, let's get the champ in the room.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, champ, how we doing? Good to see you in the room.
Man, doing good. Having a good night, man. Just laying low in the house with the old lady, man. Chilling out.
Let's get this out the way. Let's get you in the room. Let's pull this up. Let's get this up. Right. So, Coach Chris, fire away. Please let people know who you are and the bit of your background.
All right, man. So I'm Coach Chris. That's what I go by on the interwebs here. I am currently general manager of a big box gym. I'm also a former Division I strength coach. Worked primarily with men's basketball. Also played professional football, college football, high school lacrosse. An avid weightlifter. 550-pound bench, 600-pound squat. 4.840, all that fun stuff. When I was young, a little older now. Don't move quite as well, but we still do our best to get it in as we can. So I'm a fitness enthusiast. I've been around a lot of different athletes, like I have my own fitness company as well. So I've trained high school baseball players, some pro baseball players, high school, college, pro football players, college and pro basketball players, high school basketball players. Work with a lot of different athletes, um, cheerleaders, lacrosse, so when it comes to physio science, exercise science, and training, let's see, I turned 40 soon. I've been lifting weights since I was 16 in high school. Been around a lot of it. So how we kind of linked up, we were having a live stream. We kind of started talking about PED use. I'm 110% natural. I have been my entire life. And I've been competing against cats and competing with guys that took PEDs. And it's not it's one of those things where it's like you're around it. And it's just, like the thing about it is, the thing people have to run is like, I understand like with boxing, like I'm a big boxing fan. I've been a boxing fan my entire life. Like the first fight I remember watching was Hagler Leonard, the super fight. That was the first fight I remember sitting there watching it, being captivated, like, wow, this is awesome boxing, watching it with my dad. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people that are fans of boxing, a lot of heavy boxing heads are just really into boxing. So they really don't know kind of, how PEDs kind of work and like what happens and how it kind of happens, stance, and and it's not like I know a lot because it's not like I've ever taken them before, but I mean I've seen people take them, so it's like and I've been in situations where because of my size, people would assume that I'm on it, and then they would have those conversations about it, and I just kind of be sitting there like I don't know what to say, like I don't take any of this stuff, so I guess I'll start with the first thing I remember about steroids and PEDs is it's drugs. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like any drug, that's illegal. You need a plug. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something that you can just, if you're in Mexico, you can go to a pharmacy and get it, right? But everywhere else in the world, you got to get it made. You got to go to a lab.
You talk about Mexico. What about the beef?
Contaminated. Oh, yeah, I mean, the beef is just kind of a thing that they say, but it's a well-known fact in the United States that if you just if you're in San Diego and you just cross the border to Tijuana, you can go to a pharmacy without a prescription and go get, Nandrolone or something like that. There's so many different types of steroids that do so many different types of things, and there's new ones coming out all the time. You got to think like, you guys might not know, but here in America, we have a sport, baseball. And in the 90s, there was a steroid craze in baseball where basically up to 65 to 75% of all players in Major League Baseball were taking steroids, including the all-time home run leader and one of the best pitchers of all time. And the guy that was all-time home run leader, Barry Bonds, was taking a designer steroid that was designed for him. And this is before baseball was even tested for steroids. And you're talking about somebody that was 35 years old that was hit 73 home runs. And I mean, he was like, it was just insane what this guy was doing at his age. And, at the time it was just, now he can't get into the Hall of Fame, even though before he even started taking steroids, he's one of the best players. But there's just so much that goes into it. There's like a dark kind of game between the people that use steroids and the people that test. And there's always steps around it and there's steps away. And it's like, it's not even so much like, hey, I'm gonna pay you money and you just do something with the test. Like they're coming into the test and they're knowing off top, hey, okay, so you're gonna get pissed. So we're gonna do an oil change, or we're gonna raise your levels of this, or we're gonna take this counteractive drug. Like a lot of guys now, how they get caught, because it's really tough because you're really talking about the science of how your body works.
Mhm.
A lot of guys get caught taking their post-use therapy because when you take steroids, you know essentially what it does is you're injecting synthetic testosterone into your system, way
Mhm.
more than your body produces. Your testes, your nads. Oh, and I saw that question. My favorite UK boxer of all time. You know, I'm gonna probably say Carl Froch, to be honest with you, man. I like Carl Froch. He never ducked any smoke. And, you know, he win, lose, or draw, he was there to fight. His old lady be outside the ring screaming. I always got a big kick out of that when I was a young guy.
Higher than Lennox Lewis?
You know what? You know, I respect Lennox Lewis, right? He's definitely in the top 10 heavyweights to me. But I never, it's just one of those things where I wish Riddick Bowe wasn't scared to fight him. But I remember seeing that ass whipping that he put on Riddick Bowe in the Olympics. So I could kind of understand it. You know what? I forgot about Lennox Lewis. But Lennox Lewis knocked out my man Hasim Ratman from Baltimore, which
That's
kind
my
of
boy. That's my boy. I love Hassim.
Hasim Ratman's man. He's East Baltimore all day. I'm from East Baltimore, so that's my dude. Though, just because of that, I can't really have him be number one. So I'm gonna go with with Groves.
You
But
know what?
anyway,
You
go
know,
ahead.
I recently did an interview with Hassim. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. I seen it. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a straight shooter, as straight as they come, really.
Love him.
Yeah. He probably will remember I met him one time. His hands are bigger than mine, and I got huge hands. And I was like, God, I would hate for him to hit me with his hands, man. Like, Jesus
Wow.
Christ, man. Oh, but so go ahead.
Something I wanted to talk to you about. It's something that a lot of people don't know about, but it does happen. I want to know if you consider this cheating or not. Where you take blood out of your body, you freeze it, and then you pump it back into your body afterwards for extra oxygen into the body. Is that cheating?
Oh, man, I don't know. I guess if it's your blood and hasn't been like anything hasn't been done to it, because I know that they were doing that where they were taking out blood and like they were doing some kind of spinning to it and they were shooting it into like joints to do plate therapy. I think like Kobe Bryant was doing that way back in the day, or he might have done that when he had his Achilles injury. So I don't know. I don't know enough about that science and how that works. Um, I just know that, like for anybody out there, just like, steroids is just, and for all these people that do take it that are professional athletes and you see them have success, there are so many side effects and things that happen. Like I remember in college, man, I had a guy, one of my teammates, he went into diabetic shock, passed out, split his chin open, could have died right there while we were doing morning conditioning from taking that stuff, man. Like these, when you see somebody that's 25, 26 have a heart attack, former athlete, it's just like, come on, man. Like you're playing around with the science of how your body works. But we're talking about a lot of money on the line. And, if you need that extra edge, extra boost, we're talking 10, 12%. And as you know, in professional sports, as you climb the ranks in sports, the margins are thinner. So it's like 10, 12% better than you're supposed to be. It's really a big, big step.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is steroids kind of allows you to train and kind of work through injury different. You know what I'm saying? So if you're somebody that is used to training 4 hours a day, and then
Yeah.
you get on, you start taking tests and you stack it with HGH or something like that. Now you can train 7 hours a day, and every day is like your first day. You know what I mean? Like it's just that kind of thing.
I remember using creatine. You know creatine?
Yeah, creatine. Creatine is actually one of the few supplements that works. Honestly, that's like scientifically proven.
I remember.
There's nothing illegal about that, though.
But I remember using the creatine when it first came. But I think the creatine was actually banned because I remember using creatine and I knew my muscles were getting harder, much faster, and I could do so much more with the creatine than when I wasn't. I felt.
Yeah. Well, back in the day when in the late 90s and the 90s when creatine kind of hit the market, the way they sold it, marketed it was you were supposed to have a loading phase. And then you would kind of taper off, but still be taking a relatively high dose. And what that would lead to is a lot of water retention and hydration. So you had a lot of guys like passing out. Like you had a lot of wrestlers in college that were taking creatine. They were, passing out and being dehydrated. And, with the hydration can come like acute kidney failure and things like that. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I actually had to stop taking creatine. This is funny. Last year, I went and took my physical, and I'm taking creatine, and like, I'm like 310. I'm throwing up big weight. I'm jacked. I'm huge, and I go take my physical, and my doctor's like, my blood test comes back. He goes, "Man, your kidney function. You got the kidney function of an old man. What's going on?" And I'm just like, "Hey, I don't know. I'm just, I'm taking my protein. I'm taking my creatine." He's like, "Why don't we stop taking the creatine for a month and then do your blood test again?" I did, and then my blood test came back completely normal. What I'm saying, so like at my age, it's like, all right, no more creatine. Even though it does make you stronger, it definitely gives you a little bit of a jolt in your workouts if you're taking it safely, you're taking a good brand. So, but back in the day, we had that loading phase, and that was not healthy. And now you taking creatine monohydrate, which is a lot better for you.
I mean, I was having the creatine shakes.
Yeah. Well, I think usually you just get a little powder. You can get the powder, just like mix it in something.
Yeah.
Mix it. I saw a question there that said, "What are the benefits of meldonium?" Meldonium is it's like it's for stamina, right, and recovery. So, let's say you could run a mile in 7.5 minutes, and then on meldonium you can run it in 6:45. You know what I'm saying? And like, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but if that's your training, if that's your VO2 max now, that makes a big deal in a boxing match, especially if you're somebody that relies on movement, relies on, working every minute of the round. Like, there's all kinds of stuff out there. There's human growth hormone, there's EPO.
Well, they took human growth hormone. They said about Evander Holyfield. He was like, they say he was 6 foot or 5'11" before he went into the heavyweight division, and he grew 2 inches because he went into a human growth bag. Is that true?
I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't know. I know Evander Holyfield. Always, he definitely grew into a heavyweight from being a cruiserweight. I definitely know that, but I wouldn't know if he failed or anything like that, or if he was on it. It's hard. I mean, it's one of those things where if you see someone in person, you can kind of see the signs. You can see the acne on their back. You see the balding spots. You see the attitude changes, things like that. If you're around somebody, if you see somebody pre, and then you're kind of like afterwards, while you see a change, it's just like that doesn't really jive. It kind of you can kind of put two and two together, but it's tough to accuse somebody without failing.
Two guys are not so obvious. David Haye. You look at David Haye when he was boxing as a heavyweight. Quite big, quite jacked. You look at him; he looks no bigger than a middleweight.
Right. Well, you know what? He fought at like 210, 215, right?
Yeah.
And now he walks around at about 175 maybe. So I mean, David Haye always struck me as someone like Roy Jones that just kind of hit the genetic lottery. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could eat 4 Big Macs and a pizza and still have a 6-pack. Like, I've played ball with guys like that. They get up out of the morning and like they're just jacked and lean. Like, that's just their genetic body type. I would say a lot of, like, for boxing, and like, because you got to think, right? Like, you got to take something that makes sense for your sport. Like in football, you got to be quick and athletic and fast, but you have to also have the size and the strength to play at that level. Like if you're talking professionally, so like you're gonna look to take something like, something that'll add mass to your frame, not even necessarily make you bigger and stronger, just something that'll help you add mass to your frame. You know what I'm saying? There's things that can help make you more explosive, more dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, there's a new steroid being designed for somebody right now. Like, it's just a cloak and dagger game, man. It's drugs. It's illegal. It's dope. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you see somebody do something that they couldn't do last year, the year before, like, it's a fine line. Cause like, I didn't come on this to like accuse people of taking juice. Like, cause that's not, like, I wouldn't want to do that and impugn anybody's reputation without failing a drug test, because I've been accused. Like, I've had somebody come and look at my face and tell me, "Chris, you're a piece of shit because you're juicing." And I'm sitting there like, wow, like, I'm just working my tail off and like, I'm not drinking anymore and things like that. So I don't want to accuse anybody, without a fail. But the problem is, it's so easy to beat these tests now that it's just like, well, what do we know? What's going on? I saw somebody ask the question. Dillian took Dianabol. That's like an old school steroid. I'm so surprised he failed taking that. Like nobody takes that anymore. Like I'm saying, man, like that's like from 19. That's like off the set of Predator or something, man. Like I don't know why he's taking that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of crazy. I mean, but like look at Rocky 1 and 2, and then look at Rocky 3, right? Like you can tell, you can look. You know what I'm saying? And like, you see the attitude change. You know what I'm saying? You see, and that's another thing with me. I couldn't take that stuff because my personality is not meant to be enhanced. I don't need any more confidence. I don't need to feel indestructible because I would probably be sitting inside of a jail cell for beating somebody up for taking too long getting a Slurpee, like just something stupid, right? So, but you're messing with the science of your body. You're shooting the stuff in your system. So then your testes say, hey, we don't need to make testosterone anymore because you're shooting it into your system. So then your testes shrink. So then you stop taking it, and then you go into this like kind of cycle of, post therapy. So then you got to take like, female fertility drugs and stuff like that to kind of, get your testes back working again. That's how a lot of guys get caught. They're taking like Clomid and stuff like that. Female fertility drugs to kind of coax their body back into working. And you see like the weird nipples, and the lady boobies, and the back knee, and the balding, and the weight gain, the weight loss. Like I've seen guys take steroids that are specifically to make them leaner. Like they're too big, they're too fat. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna lean up. And then as soon as they stop taking it, they balloon up bigger than they were before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they do, man. I mean, you're really messing with your body, man. Like it's not safe, man. I mean, I've never played at that level to where somebody was going to pay me $10 million to do anything. So I don't want to sit there and say like, hey, for the money, I wouldn't do it. But I mean, I don't like needles too much either, man. So I really can't see. It's like if you're going to come and play, man, come play with what you brought. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like that.
What about moving up in weight divisions and having more power and speed as you move up in weight divisions?
Well, definitely. I mean, anything that's going to help you add muscle mass that you normally wouldn't have, anything that's going to give you the ability to train. I wouldn't think a boxer would take steroids to jump weight classes just because, you're talking 5 or 6 or 7 pounds. But, I know who you're getting at. I know who you're getting at. I know who you're getting at, right? But I look at things like the head size. The head size is big. Are you really, is there something about you that's changed remarkably all of a sudden that wasn't there in the past, despite your talent, that now is there and now it's an elite thing? Like, are you now super fast or super strong, or you have super endurance, you never get tired? Those are the kind of things where it's like, all right, what's going on here? And don't tell me that like you just started, blending your vegetables in a juicer, and now all of a sudden, you got an edge, or you got a new strength coach or something like that.
No, I'm a vegan now. I'm a vegan. That's why.
Yeah, I'm a vegan now, so that's why I'm insanely ripped, and I can throw 500 punches in 12 rounds as a heavyweight, and it's remarkable. And then you got other things, right? So like in the UFC, they got those therapeutic use exemptions for the fighters. The therapeutic use exemptions, where basically you say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I need this steroid because I'm having fertility problems at home, so I need this. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're taking it, but it's really not for that. It's really so you can be 260 and jacked and stuff. And then then you got to talk about like the pain pills and like the ability and the things that like greenies, and then things will give you energy, give you awake, and get you here, get you intense. Adderall, things like that. There's so many different things that people can take to try to. I mean, you're talking about sports. There's a lot of money on the line here, man. So there's jobs up for grabs here. So if it's like you're sitting there telling somebody like, hey, look, you just take this, shoot it in the morning, shoot it at night, 6 weeks. It won't kill you, man. You'll be fine. Just take a cycle. You'll be good. You'll be good to go. And
I didn't want to say
millions of dollars that people are doing it. It's just as boxing, man. Like if you're gonna juice and play football or baseball or basketball, all right, I get it. That's one. I understand. But I mean, these guys are punching each other in the face for a living, and you know what these guys are dealing with, like when their careers are over, man. Like it's really not right to be playing the game to play dark like that in boxing, and then that's just not even considering the things that we've seen people get accused of this year, and things that like Margarito has done, that like playing fast and loose with the gloves. I mean, you're all contemporaries, you're all professionals. You know what I'm saying? So I saw somebody ask a question. Do I rate UFC? I used to be a very big UFC fan, actually. And then it went through a phase where it just seemed like it was a bunch of wrestling all the time. And I really like to see people throw hands, hence being a boxing fan first. So I think kind of when Anderson Silva kind of fell off is kind of when, and then seeing John Jones, fail drug tests and, get caught with cocaine, drunken.
It's an interesting one, John Jones, because technically you can see his technical ability.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, I mean,
you got to remember, too, he's got 2 pro football brothers. Like, he comes from a family of stud athletes. You know what I mean? Like, you think about it. His parents gave birth to a first-round NFL draft pick who still plays in the NFL today, one of the best fighters of all time. And then Arthur Jones, I don't know if Art still plays in the NFL, but he played for my favorite team for years and won a Super Bowl with him. So you got 3 brothers that played, that made millions of dollars as pro athletes from these 2 parents, man. So you got to remember, he's genetically just got it, hit the lottery. The answer to the question right there.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a line between, okay, he's on PEDs and his ability.
Right.
So John Jones has got ability regardless.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Regardless. I mean, there's some guys, I'm not mentioning names, in the UK that they were never good fighters.
Right.
They disappear, they come back.
Yeah.
And they're world champions, and they're box better now than they did for the beginning of their career.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, it always comes back with a fresh new body, a fresh, fresh chill, nice and lean. Yeah. I mean, people do that. I mean, like you're not going to find your good, like your pro athletes are born, right? Like if you're going to be a professional, you're going to compete at the highest level. Those guys are born. You're born with that athletic talent. So it's not like you got to take, it's not like you're a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? Taking, all this stuff and just stacking it, just blasting and cruising. You're talking about a little bit here and there. You know what I'm saying? And just a little bit to kind of get you through training camp or to get you here, to get you there. So, if you got it genetically, you're ahead of the game. And if you're a genetic athlete and you're taking that stuff, you're probably going to be very, very, very good, as opposed to somebody who's taking it and just kind of hanging on. But, it's just such a slippery slope. And I just would hate to think, younger people are starting to think that if you're going to be a successful pro athlete, you have to take steroids, because that's not true. You really don't have to. If you discipline your body, discipline your mind, and really work at it, you can get there. So that's my thing as a coach.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete, man. Roy Jones Jr. might be the best athlete that boxing's ever seen, flat out. I mean, he did go from 154 to heavyweight. He got on that scale in a robe. I don't really think he weighed what he said he weighed. I don't think he made more than $195 trying to fight Andy Ruiz in that fight. But fighting Andy Ruiz in heavyweight, that damaged him and slowed him down. And you saw how he relied on his athletic ability and how that caught up with him at the end of his career. So, but Roy is just a freak, man. Roy Jones was so fun to watch. I tell you, man, I'm still mad about him losing to Tarver. That was like 15 years ago. I was thinking about it the other day driving home from work. Like, man, I really wish he just did not lose Antonio.
All the people to lose. Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, it's just like that, man. Boxing styles make fights. He could not measure that left hand to save his life. It's like the whole thing, the crazy triangle of Mayorga, Vernon Forrest, and Shane Mosley. How Mosley can beat Mayorga, Mayorga beats Forrest, Forrest beats Mosley, and that's how it went.
Yeah.
2 times, all 6 fights, they went exactly the same way. For some reason, Vernon Forrest can beat someone as good as Sugar Shane Mosley, but can't figure out Ricardo Mayorga, who barely boxed. And how does Mayorga beat Forrest? And then, but he can beat Shane Mosley. It's just weird. So it's just, you would hope to think that everyone isn't taking that stuff. Okay. I see a question there. Could you explain PED masking agents? So when you're taking a PED test, I've taken a couple in my life. They don't test specifically for a steroid most of the time. Most of the time, what they're testing for is your elevated testosterone levels, right? So there's different ways to either raise your testosterone levels or, to raise your EPO levels, your epitestosterone levels, so that it doesn't, figure a fail, or to, lower your heightened testosterone. And there's things that just straight up mask it. And there's so many out there. There's so many. I'm telling you right now, when you hear like the WBC has their clean boxing program, and I commend them for that, right? But at the same time, these guys are slick, man. Like, you're talking a dodgy game here, man. This is like millions of dollars here, and you're talking like they're not going to the local corner to get steroids. Like, I gotta tell you, I'm from Baltimore, right? I didn't know like where I could get every other drug but that. Like where do you even find this stuff, right? So you're talking about guys that are getting top flight gear, top flight stuff, maybe getting the doctors, to help them take it. You know what I'm saying? To like actually prescribe it for them so that they don't hurt themselves. Spending a lot of money on this stuff, spending a lot of money on how to get by tests. It's a hairy game these guys are playing, man. And I'm not going to talk too tough on it because it's not, like I said, I've never taken a steroid. I've never purchased steroids, so I wouldn't know where to get it or how masking agents work. But I'm telling you right now, man, you go into a gym with a lot of bodybuilders, you could just strike up a conversation with them about it. They'll tell you about it, man. Because I'm telling you, I've been approached by people who knew I wasn't on it and were trying to convince me to take it. It was like, man, Chris, man, that's what you need to get to the NFL, because that was my thing. I'm trying to get to the NFL, right? So it's like, yo, this is what you need right here. I'm telling you, man, you just do this right here. I can hook you up. I'll just give you your first however much it was or however much you take. I'll give you this for free and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, nah, man, like I don't need drugs, bro. Like, I'm not taking drugs to play football. If I need it, then I graduated, man. I got a degree. I'll go do something else. But I'm not taking that shit. And I'm not getting locked up. I'm telling you, I'd have hurt somebody in these streets taking that crap and getting all aggressive for no reason. So it's just, I'm glad you brought me on, brother, because I really just want to tell people, leave that crap alone, man. You don't need it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Leave it alone. Like, don't assume that you have to do that stuff to be a professional athlete. You don't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a person that believes in honor and things like that. Like, hey, if you got it in you, it's in you. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But maybe that just kind of seems the way. I'm really disappointed to see it in boxing, because like I said, these guys are out here hitting each other and in the face, man, and in the guts, man, and just peeing blood from the kidney punches. It's just, man, it's like, just don't, man. Like, it's just bad. Like, I think back to that Joe McClellan, Nigel Benn fight, and like, this is a dangerous sport you playing out here, G, and to sit there and to augment yourself artificially with that crap, and to play with gloves and things like that, and to deliberately cheat, deliberately hit in the back of the head and things. That's not what we need in this sport. And I'm sure, like, both sides of the pond, we can all agree, we really just want to see these guys fight, entertain us, and get back to their family and do it again, right? So,
Yeah.
The
thing with what Floyd Mayweather he put in his hand, do you think that had any effect on his career? Because
Oh
I
yeah,
think
well, remember he broke his hands. Remember the lone Floyd Mayweather knockdown. Floyd Mayweather technically got knocked down in a fight. I remember watching it on HBO. This might have been in 1999 or 2000, somewhere around there, where he hit a guy and he broke his hand in the ring, and he hit his hand and hurt his hand so bad that he actually touched his hand on the ground after he hit his hand, and the ref was like, "You technically, that's a knockdown. I give you an 8 count." And he's standing there like, "I never touched the ground," but he broke his hand on this dude's face. So you got to think, man. Like, I don't think he really threw punches at 100% after that, man, because he really immediately after that he stopped knocking guys out cold. I mean, he caught Ricky Hatton with that nice hook, and he knocked out Victor Ortiz and things like that. But he really wasn't a knockout artist. But young pretty boy Floyd at 130, 135 was knocking guys out. But that's when he had his problems with his hands. So, yeah, the hands definitely affected him. I just hoping, like we're talking about guys cheating and things like that. And like what brought us this conversation, we was talking about like weight gain and weight loss, and how do you put on muscle mass during training camp when you're burning 6,500 calories a day? How do you eat enough to gain weight, that much weight during a training camp? It doesn't really seem plausible, right? So
what about
go ahead.
putting on some people say that a certain fighter in the heavyweight division is putting on like 40, 50 pounds within a year is unbelievable. It can't be done naturally. Is that true?
Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, you can gain. I mean, chances are no, because if you think about it, like if you're talking about the person, I think we already talked about somebody that might have lost weight and then gained it back. It's hard to show up to fight. That's a lot of calories you're burning a day, man. Like, I can't see putting on that kind of weight. And I mean, clean muscle mass, like lean muscle, chances are it's probably not the case. Again, we can't accuse people without a fail, but it's just when you see somebody weigh 255, then they come into the ring at 288, it's like, wow, like, how did you get that buff that quick? Like my heaviest I got, like I went through a phase in college where I was drinking E&J brandy almost every day and eating terribly. So I got up to like 337. And I guess from November when the season ended, fast forward to May, I had gotten down to about 295, right? And something like that, of just like like I stopped lifting heavy. I was just like, look, I changed my eating habits, and I should have been nowhere near 337. So the first 15 pounds probably came off because it was like, Christ, homeboy, you weren't supposed to be this big anyway. You were this big because you were eating. So it's just some things just don't make sense. When something doesn't make a lot of sense, it doesn't seem naturally plausible, chances are it's not, unless it's something that they've done before or if they've shown the ability to do before. It's probably tough to gain muscle mass during a basketball training camp. I mean, or during a boxing training camp, because of the calories you're burning. You're training twice a day. You're doing all the road work, all the cardio. You're doing all the sparring. I don't know how you could gain weight during a boxing training camp. Like, you would, it's pretty. I don't know how that would happen.
So, Coach Chris, would you do me a favor? And this might be a bit long-winded, but could we go through, maybe not on this show, but if you could bring me back a list of the PEDs people could use in sport and what their benefits are, or the top ones, and we can go through each one of them and talk about it. So,
okay,
your boxing fans don't just jump to conclusions. He's a PED user, and we can.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. Like with Dillian Whyte, like I really don't understand why he would take an old school weight gaining steroid when he's a big guy anyway. It's almost like why would he, like, Diana Ball wouldn't make sense for him. I would figure he would take maybe like growth to kind of lean up, add some lean muscle mass, and maybe like Nandrolone, lean out a little bit, still be able to add some strength. The growth will make you have all kind of energy. You'll be able to bounce around, and training camp will seem easy. So Meldonian, something for stamina. A lot of the stuff they're taking is to make it through camp. You know what I'm saying? Like the dog days of camp where you're really training. That's where they're taking it and trying to advance their levels. So they're ready for fight night. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's just, I don't want to be like Paulie Malignaggi and just start accusing people because Paulie was just somebody beat Paulie Malignaggi and then he's like, oh, he's on steroids. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. But, there's certainly benefits and things like that to take stuff. I mean, it's just they work. It's not a placebo. It's not a game. Like it's like you got supplements, protein, creatine, but I mean, there's nothing that's going to make you be 20 pounds heavier than you're supposed to with an aggressive attitude to go with it. And you're throwing around weight in the weight room now. And you're just bigger, jacked up. There's no supplement that's going to do that. And it's just if you need it fast, and there's a lot of money on the line. I guess these guys are doing it, man. It's just unfortunate, man. I really hope that boxing, and that's one of the reasons why I stepped out of UFC, because you're looking at these guys in UFC with all the back knee. It's like, come on, man. Like, you guys are in these rings just kicking the shit out of each other, looking like you're about to pop right out of your skin. Like, I don't want to watch that, and then you go to boxing, it's like, man, like these guys are juicing too. Like, is there anywhere where these guys aren't taking this shit? Because it's just, and you gotta understand, man, I am ardently against it. Like, I really just loathe the whole thing, man. Like, I wish they didn't exist. I want to know who really can do what they talking about. Not on that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if you don't, it's like, it's not really you.
Yeah.
It's not really you. So it's just, it's unfortunate. But
So if you could get me a list, let me know when you can, and then we'll get you back on the show. We'll just do one dedicated to the.
Give me like a week, because actually our gyms just opened up back here where I'm at, so I'm working like crazy hours trying to get everything and running around the gym, making everybody wear a mask and stuff like that. So give me a little bit of time, and we can definitely link up and get that done, man. But I appreciate you having me on your platform. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody that was checking this out, man. Appreciate y'all. Coach Chris. And
how do they hit you up?
Oh, man, just hit me on the gram, man. Coach Chris Ekwueme, all one word on Instagram. I'm Coach Chris on YouTube. I haven't made a video in a while, but I do want to start making videos talking about boxing. I am a big time football head. I'm also a big time soccer fan. Chelsea FC. Yep, I'm sorry. Hey, man, look, I dated a soccer player in college, and the first game I watched in college was the Can You Believe It game versus Chelsea. And I just basically decided that day, I was like, blue's my favorite color. Chelsea's all in blue. They seem to be good. I can roll with these guys. And then I watched.
Scored a few goals against you.
Say again?
I think my cousin may have scored a few goals against Chelsea.
Who's that? Who's that?
Defoe.
Oh, Jermaine Defoe?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Man. Hey, that's your cousin? He's big time, man. Like, I tell you what, he's a big time goal scorer, man. Like, pace out of this world. Does he still play?
Yeah, I think he's at Bournemouth. I think he was at Bournemouth at one point. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, man. Hey, he's a physical freak, man.
He's at Rangers, isn't he? Scotland.
Yo, he's a pacey dude. He's probably still pretty quick, man. Yeah, Jermaine Defoe's a baller.
For the ladies as well.
My man. Hey, I'm telling you what, man. We could talk boxing or soccer, English Premier League.
Listen, on this channel, there's also gaming, and I'm a big football fan, and I do manage a lot of football teams. So on it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I don't
touch Chelsea. Sorry.
It's okay, man. You're gonna have to watch us win this Champions League in 2021, brother. You seeing what we bringing onto the team? You just. Come on in for the big win, brother. We back to our thing. We about to start breaking that bank, buying up players, and we got the young kids, man. I'm really excited about our team, and I'm hoping we can secure top three, and top three, top four finish. And I'm just antsy here because I'm hoping everything kind of goes back together. Like I want the NFL to go back. I'm a big college basketball fan over here. As you know, over here, we got a lot of sports. a lot of sports, man. So, you know, they're talking about trying to finish the NBA season, and we're waiting on the NFL. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan through and through. And yeah, man, like I really want to get on here and just talk about all sports, everything that has to do with it, from how to prepare to play the sport, to actually breaking down the film and breaking down what I'm seeing. Yeah. I'm a big time sports fan.
Project I've got coming up shortly. We definitely have to talk off here about the project.
Yeah, man. Just shoot me an email, man. I'm about to go up here and see what the old lady talking about, man. But you know, I'm about to go. Let me go ahead and do my thing out here, man. Y'all enjoy. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, man. Shout out to you and your channel, man. Blessings, man. Shout out to all your listeners out there worldwide, and everybody have a great night. Please stay safe, social distance, and we'll get all through this, baby. Y'all take it easy out there now. Peace,
brother. All the best.
Amen. Later.
All the best. Take care. So there we are, Coach Chris there. Somebody asked me when we're going to have our next interview. You just got your interview there with Coach Chris, a man of many, many talents and a lot of good wisdom and knowledge and understanding. We're going to have him back on the show within a week, and we'll tackle this PED thing once and for all. That's it for me. A lot longer than expected, 2 hours and 25 minutes. It was not the plan to come on here tonight. I was going to do some gaming, but there you go. Have a good night. And look after yourselves. Take care.